Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sideline Brief Podcast on episode 188. All we got for you this week, guys, is week 4 games of the week. We're going to preview all of the games starting with Thursday night. We're recording on Wednesday night. So we'll start with Thursday night football and work our way through. I think we got a Dublin, Ireland game this week, Sunday, 9 a.m. So the first of the European games taking place this week. And then, of course, we got a Monday night doubleheader where we'll hit that as well. So, with all that being said, guys, stay tuned. Let's hop right into this. Let's start in NBA. There is a little bit of NBA news, not too much. Mostly about my Heatles, so this won't take too much of the time here. First up, Precious Achua agrees to a 1-year deal with the Heat. He is coming back to the Heatles. He was, I believe, our 2020 first round pick before we shipped him off in that deal for Kyle Lowry, I think the year after the bubble. So back on the team, we think the Heat have all the last 7 first round picks on the team currently, which is pretty crazy. And I think it's a non-guaranteed deal, so technically they're over the tax, Lawrence, but they can still make some moves to get under it by the end of the season. I don't know if you caught up with much NBA. You know, you had great vacation for the past couple of weeks. I don't know if you've been keeping up with a lot of the sports news. Do you have any thoughts about this one?
I haven't been keeping up almost at all with any of the NBA action. So no, that actually comes as a shock to me. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a little bit of an overstretch to pay him that much, but I'm going to say I think it is a little bit of an overstretch.
It's 1-year deal. I'm not too sure what the money is looking like. If it's a minimum or if it's a little bit more.
I think it's going to be a little bit more than the minimum, but I don't think he never jumped out of the as a piece. I would say maker at the Knicks.
The Knicks, yeah. He was getting mop up time for the most part, unless someone got hurt and then he got some of the backup minutes. So that's primarily why they signed him. And also, another reason is what you see on the screen. Hero injures his foot. This broke, I think, either Saturday or Sunday. I forgot to cover it on Monday, but Hero is having surgery on his foot. He's going to be out at least 8 weeks. At first, when it broke, they were saying 8 to 12 at the minimum, so it was sounding worse than it was. So I was thinking Hero might not play at all in 2025. Maybe he'll come back in January, but it seems like 8 weeks is the pretty definite timetable. So he'll maybe mid-November, maybe in time for the in-season tournament. In the first couple games, maybe he'll come back around then. The Heat's beginning schedule is kind of tough, so I think this is going to be a big blow to the team. Any thoughts?
I think the injury is going to last a little longer than what they're predicting. I mean, anytime you got any kind of guy with a foot, I mean, a foot doesn't bounce back very quick. And then you're going to have to think about his kicking, not his kicking, but his jumping. Is his jumper still going to be there when you're trying to rush him back before he's probably ready? And then honestly, it also comes to a point where as the Heatles, you guys never want to lose. You always want to try to win as many games as you can and kind of screw yourself out of a season because you go middle of the pack, mediocre season, and then you're picking in the middle again instead of getting a lottery kind of thing. I mean, you guys start off horribly bad because he is a pretty big offensive weapon for you. And you guys just start off horribly bad. It might be just in your best interest to set him the season. Don't even bother about the rush back. Don't even worry about it. Just get better. I know you'll probably have to give up a few guys that you have on your roster in order to just, go into the full tank mode. But then if you just, I want to say, embody the tank, right? Then you can come out of the tank with a completely healthy hero, which we're talking about healthier than he's been in years because you didn't force him to come back that quick. You probably can sit Bam halfway through the season, or play him sparing minutes, like 20 minutes a game. Yeah, we're kind of killing your stats a little bit, Bam, but there's no need to like cause an ACL or any kind of long-term, full on damage that could really, you know, hinder his career. No, we want you again to be like Hero, to sprout 1 year from now, and hopefully we have a good lottery pick that we can just get the first overall pick, and then just get some monster out of college, and then restart it from there. I feel like that might be how the season needs to go for the Heat. I'm not saying that it is full on panic, let's just blow it up mode, but like if the season starts off poorly, it shouldn't be one of those things where the coach is punished. We know what he is. He's great. Just give him another year. Just take a year off. The Heat have been pushing this mantra of not having to take a year off for the longest time. Just do it. Just have it happen.
Yeah, I don't see them tanking at any point anytime soon. It would take some major injuries for that to happen. As long as he comes back before the end of the 2025 year, I think they'll be fine. But you're right, you can't rush a foot. You see what happened to Joel a couple years ago when he tried to rush back for his foot. But it's something to keep in the back of our mind. We'll talk more about NBA next week. I think training camps start the 30th for teams that play. There's going to be some preseason games in, I believe, Saudi Arabia. So for those teams, they get to start a couple days early. But I think officially training camp starts for most teams October 3rd. So we will start our previews of some teams probably next Thursday or maybe the following Monday. We'll see how much stuff comes out and what we can fit. Also, shout out to WNBA. Asia Wilson is 4-time WNBA MVP. I don't know if you caught that, Lawrence. I think the first player in WNBA history to win 4. And her boo thing, Bam, gave her the award. it was pretty nice to watch on X. I don't know if you caught that, Lawrence, but shout out to Asia Wilson.
I didn't catch it, but
4-time WNBA
it's
MVP.
not one of those things that's shocking at all. I mean, in comparison this season to her, there has not been any superstar in the WNBA that is doing the generational stuff she's doing right now.
Yeah, and I think she's co-defensive player of the year too. So I mean, she's dominant, man. She's definitely one of the best players in the league for sure. But we're gonna move on to the NFL Week 3, Thursday night, Seahawks Cardinals division game. I don't really know how to preview this one. I feel like both teams. I don't have a good feel for both teams. And it's a divisional game, so crazy things can and will happen in this one. ESPN Matchup Predictor has it 48-52. So basically a coin flip with a little bit in favor of the Cardinals because they're playing in Arizona. So any takeaways or things to look forward to in this one?
Well, for me, I would just take Seattle. Personally, if you look at the Cardinals' 2 wins, it is against Carolina and it is against the Saints. The problem with the Cardinals right now is their secondary is just so banged up. And they got the benefit of the doubt against the 49ers because they are also very banged up. And they lost Nick Bosa during that game as well. So they got to not be pounded down and destroyed by a banged up 49ers team that is like on equal playing field as banged up as they are. But if you look at the Seattle, they're not as banged up. Like offensively, they're stout. They're ready to go. They got all their weapons. They're chilling. Sam Darnold has had nothing but clean pockets and open guys, and they're going against one of the league's worst pass defenses because half the secondary is out. I just got to give it to Seattle to pull off an upset. I don't even know if you can call it an upset, but I'll call it an upset. I just got Seattle to take it against the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an upset. I think they're technically the favorites. 1.5 points.
Yeah, but
Minus 125
according to
money line.
ESPN, the Cardinals are still the favorite to win.
Yeah, they're a little matchup predictor. It's not really lining up with what they have on ESPN Bet, so I don't know what that is all about, to be honest. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I'll take Seahawks, also just because James Conner is out, so I don't know too much about their backup running back situation, but James Conner is uh, he's a pound back. He'll take the full workload. I'm not too sure about these other guys coming in. All right. I guess we'll do the 9:30 game, and then we'll each pick a couple games that we have our eyes on. Vikings Steelers. This one's in Dublin, the first NFL game in Dublin, I believe. Vikings destroyed my Bengals last week. Steelers snuck away from the Patriots last week. What are you feeling in this one?
My feeling is I'm just gonna keep riding with the Vikings. It's not because I think that JJ McCarthy was bad and that Carson Wentz is gonna like game change this offense and game change this team, that they just start winning a shit ton of games. I don't think that that's what it is. I just think that purely the Steelers are very, very banged up on the defensive side. They are missing multiple guys at multiple parts, at multiple levels. Carson Wentz is going to get the ball down the field enough times, move it down the field enough times that they're going to get, 21, 24 points, probably. And I think that's good enough to beat the Steelers. I think the pass rush minimum that the Vikings can bring blitzing is going to be enough to like turn the table of this game.
I think that's a safe bet. I think I'm going to agree with you. Just in terms of AFC North, I need the Steelers to lose anyway, and I don't really think they're that good offensively. Like, I know the Patriots have a good defense, but putting up 21 points is a little concerning. I mean, they've been struggling to put up points all season besides the first game. So I think, yeah, the Vikings and that Brian Flores defense is going to not fluster Aaron Rodgers, but he just won't be able to move and escape the pocket as well as he used to. So I think that'll get to him and probably force him to make some throws that maybe Aaron Rodgers of 5 years ago could make, but right now he can't make. And so those will be some additional turnovers. And but yeah, Vikings will do just enough to win. Especially against a banged up Steelers defense. Carson Wentz, if he can just dink and dunk like he did last week and maybe push the ball down the field a little bit with some safe throws, I feel like, yeah, they got this one. All right. So, any games that we should be looking forward to this week? I guess we'll start in the 1 o'clock window.
I got a couple for you. I think starting out, I'm going to give you. I personally think the Falcons are going to upset the Commanders. The Falcons just got embarrassed, 30-0. On the road, mind it, to Carolina. I mean, just generational bad day. I mean, Penix probably could not have a worse day if he tried. And the Commanders are facing a lot on their plate. I mean, they might not have Scary Terry. Was one of those, pieces they're going to be missing. I just think that the Falcons are going to get back their best number one corner. I think there's a lot of things that we can shift some. We can shift it a little bit towards the Falcons. We don't need the Falcons to be a minus, 2.5, -3. I mean, according to this, if it was in a neutral site, Commanders are a -4.5 favorite, which I don't even know if I'm like really buying into all that with Marcus Mariota as the quarterback. Because yes, I saw him throw a few dimes. I saw him be able to scramble, but that's just one more week of game planning of film to figure out how this new Marcus Mariota is, how he operates. So, as much as it pains me to say, I feel like the Falcons can make quite an upset in this game.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, maybe toppling on top of it, I think the Chargers will absolutely dominate the Giants. I don't think it's going to be a close one. I think the 6.5 is strong of where it is. I think that
Yeah.
this might be the head hunting game, along with, if you want to look a little bit further down, on Monday night, the Jets and the Dolphins. I do believe that we are currently on pace for the earliest firing in a season, since like Matt Rule with Carolina, with Dable and McDaniels. I think both of them are in must-win territory each week.
No, I agree with you on that one. For me in the 1 o'clock window, yeah, I mean, definitely the Commanders Falcons is a game you have to watch. Yeah, I'm gonna go Falcons with you, especially if Jaden doesn't play and you don't have Scary Terry. I think Scary Terry didn't even practice today. Jaden was again limited in practice, so if those two don't play, I don't think the Commanders have a good shot at winning this one. Even though they looked pretty decent against the Raiders, but I'm not even too high on the Raiders. Genty can't even. Your first round running back came and run the ball really well. The offensive line is pretty poo. Um, so I think, like you said, Penix had just a generational bad game. He's still learning. He's only played like 6 NFL games as a starter. Falcons just had one of those games. But of course, Eagles, Bucks. I know Mike Evans is out, but the way I've been seeing Baker been dealing and really leading these fourth quarter comebacks and fourth quarter winning drives, it's hard to bet against Baker right now. He's playing phenomenal, and I think Ibuka has really emerged. And they still have some decent weapons. So at the very least, I would say take Tampa Bay, take that 3.5. I think the Eagles really got away with one last week with that block field goal. I don't know what the hell happened on that one. They honestly should have lost. Lost that game, and the Rams, for whatever reason, took their foot off the gas in the second half and let the Eagles come back in that one. So the Eagles have a lot of things that can be exploited. That secondary is not as good as it was. And honestly, the Rams had good success running the ball against them. And I know Tampa Bay is kind of banged up on their offensive line, but they were still able to run the ball pretty well last week against the Jets. So I really like the Bucks in this one. At the very least, take the spread, but I think I will also pick them to win this one as an upset. That's pretty much it in the 1 o'clock window. Like, I'll have these games on, Lawrence, but I'm not looking forward to. I mean, I'm not looking forward to Titans Texans because that's gonna be a shit show. CJ Stroud is regressing by the game. His offensive line is terrible. I don't know. I get why you trade Larry Tunsil, but you just made his offensive line that much worse, and it was looking pretty bad last year. So he's just not looking too good. And Callahan just gave the play calling duties up to the quarterback's coach. So he's on the hot seat too, Lawrence. If they don't win a game soon, Brian Callahan is probably out of Tennessee as well. And that's my old OC. I hate to say that. Any games in the 4 o'clock window? I think we only got 3, but I think we got these 3. Any thoughts about these ones? I guess the Ravens, the Chiefs is probably the biggest one. Lawrence might be muted, so I guess I'll go ahead and preview that one. Ravens Chiefs. Uh, hey, the battle of the 1 and 2s. All right. Lions dominated the Ravens this past Monday Night Football. Hopefully, you guys listened to me and took the Lions money line on that one. I had an inkling that might happen. Um, Ravens very suspect on defense, on both run defense and pass defense. I think the Lions had their way with them. Um, Ravens couldn't get third down or fourth down stops, for that matter. Then the Chiefs, I feel like they're pretty sound defensively, but offensively they're pretty trash. They can't generate much of anything without Mahomes being Superman every week. He can't do that for a full 17 game season. It'll catch up to him. So in Kansas City with Worthy, I think trying to make his way back this week. I think I have to go Kansas City. I think if they get their speedster back with Thornton and maybe that little argument Kelsey and Andy Reid had during the last game will energize the team, energize Kelsey. Maybe he can get open and stop worrying about trying to plan his wedding in the middle of the season. So give me the Chiefs in this one. I think the Ravens lose. I think the Ravens have some real problems. I think the Ravens are basically experiencing what the Bengals experienced last year. You got a great quarterback, but you got a pretty poo-poo defense, and Lamar has to be Superman every single game. And some games he just can't be Superman, especially even offensive line was kind of deteriorating as well. I think the Ravens back-to-back weeks have not rushed for over 100 yards. So that's pretty concerning. And I'm not too sure that there's major injuries on the offensive line. So something's definitely wrong with the Ravens. I'm sure they can bounce back, but like right now, early in the season, uh, these losses are definitely piling up. Any thoughts on that one? Yeah, I think Lawrence can't isn't connecting or something, so we'll just keep on going. Um, Back out. Colts Rams. This is another good one. Colts. I won the last game, the 3-0. Haven't turned the ball over. Old man Lou is making the defense look, I would say, good, but not great. I think they play some pretty poo-poo teams, so I'm not gonna go out and say Lou's doing an outstanding job. Um, on the other side, Rams lost the game they should have won, took the foot off the gas against the Eagles. Um, and honestly, I mean, the blocked field goal says it all. Like that was a crushing loss. They should be 3-0. Um, Rams at home. I like the Rams on this one. Stick the same game plan. Puka's cooking. Devontae's cooking. Kyron Williams is cooking. Um, Even their backup running back, I don't know who their backup running back is, but the backup running back is cooking as well. So, giving the Rams, Stafford doesn't look like the back is bothering him too much. He's wheeling and dealing. So, give me the Rams in this one. Whatever let's see. They're 3.5. I just take the money line, but honestly, they should. The Colts are no joke, but I just take straight money line and take the over in this one. Packers Cowboys. Packers will destroy the Cowboys after they probably shouldn't have lost that game against the Browns, but I think this is a revenge game for Micah. He's going to stick it to the Cowboys. Watch at your discretion. Jets Dolphins. Uh, yeah, I think the Dolphins going to get killed in this one. I think they're favorites for whatever reasons. I think Fields should be back though. He should pass concussion protocol. He should be back in his starting spot, even though Tyrod did play well last week. So, um, I don't think they have any other major injuries on the Jets. Well, they got Quincy and then Brownlee, but I think Brownlee Jr. got traded. If I'm not too, they might trade for the other guy. But anyway, yeah, I think the Dolphins, they got a lot of problems. They lost way too many people in the offseason and didn't replace some quality guys. I think the Dolphins lose this one. Jets, I wouldn't even call it uh, I guess underdog win. I think they're just a better team in this one. And then my Bengals versus the Broncos. I'm conflicted. I think last week was aberration, um, and I don't expect them to be as bad this week. But it's whether or not Zach can really get them to flip the switch that quickly after one game. Usually, it takes Zach probably like 2 or 3 games for them to actually play how he wants them to play. Mainly because he's just, I mean, let's call it like it is. He's not a good head coach. And having the team as unprepared as he did versus the Vikings was unacceptable. And it's crazy to me that Mike Brown and the owners of the team keep allowing him to get away with this, even though he has a track record of this. So even though you're 2-1, the slow starts doesn't mean that okay, you're not 0-3. The slow starts mean okay, can you have the team ready and playing the way they're supposed to be right out the gate instead of continuously taking weeks and weeks to get into rhythm. I think that's the biggest thing with Zach Taylor is just not having people prepared. The unimaginative play calling, very predictable play calling. He doesn't really open the playbook up until shit hits the fan per se. So I expect him to open the playbook. I expect them to kind of limit Jake in terms of, hey, like you ain't gotta be Joe, stop being Joe, stop being Superman. Like just make good throws, take care of the ball, and then our play calling does the rest. But on the flip side, Denver, one of the top pass rushing defenses already. Bo Nix sophomore slump is the only thing that gives me an inkling that the Bengals can win this one. I think I've been calling this from the jump that Bo Nix will regress this year. Not only due to the lack of weapons, but I mean they don't really have their running backs aren't the best. And I was just never a Bo Nix believer in the first place. I think he's just an average quarterback who just had a good year because he played a really easy schedule and got lucky a lot because his defense was playing out their mind. So I would, at the very least, take the Bengals spread, take the money line at your whim. You gotta be okay with, of course, losing that, but spread, I feel like they can definitely do. I'm not going to go out here and guarantee that they're going to win, but they should be able to cover the spread. I feel like 7.5 is it's a little much, but I get after the kind of whooping they took last week. Yeah, I think that's it for week. What week are we on? Week 4. Anything else before we head on out? All right, guys. With that being said, MTL. Well, not MTL. My bad. Sideline Brief Podcast, episode 188. We will catch you guys next week. Enjoy Thursday night football, Sunday morning football, 9:30 Eastern time. Enjoy that. Vikings Steelers in Dublin, Ireland. First NFL game in Ireland. And we will see you next week. Peace.